Twitch now requires streams that involve LGBTQIA+ topics to be labeled. I'm gonna break down the policies themselves, then go into exactly why this matters so much even if you don't use Twitch. Twitch is a place for people to express themselves and discuss the world around them. We require streams to be labeled when the focus of the stream includes discussions and debates about political or sensitive social issues. Now down here is the points that we need to focus on. Discussing ideological or social political views on topics like gender, race, sexuality, or religion. Right under that is discussing legislation related to sensitive social issues such as reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ rights, or immigration. What this means is LGBTQ streamers have to flag all of their streams or ignore and avoid most LGBTQ relevant topics. Why? Well, as a streamer, I like to talk about stuff, and I just so happen to be trans, literally all the time. What can I say? I'm a dubiously slay bean. Like anyone else who transitions, this shapes so much of our life, it's incalculable. It also means anyone that's openly trans will have questions about it, be it from the community or outside sources. So either we have our stream flagged at all times, or we ignore these questions and never bring up experiences of being trans. Is this a broad stroke? Absolutely. It kinda has to be, given both legislation and our views on gender identity parallel with so many topics. Not only are their policies vague, but Twitch has a notoriously inconsistent history with their policy management. Twitch does state that intermittent mentions are not required to have the label, but that is not enough. And for two very obvious reasons. One, multiple of these points should not be in this policy at all, especially when being compared to military conflict. And two, intermittent mentions is just a few words, which is insane. Given the label will likely deter viewers, there is a clear incentive not to use it. In other words, to avoid the topics altogether. For now, you may be asking yourself, isn't this just censorship but with extra steps? I promise I'm getting to the broader implications, just hang tight as I paint the full picture here. Given most aspects of our lives have different laws literally everywhere, things as simple as HRT access may parallel too close to legislation, perhaps even views depending on context. And because views is so incredibly broad, many topics about just our experience in transition could parallel too closely as well and get us penalized. Talking about getting married to someone of the same gender is quite the same, given different laws in different states and different countries and different provinces. Now, is the intent for Twitch to penalize any account that brings that up immediately? No, but if it does turn into a discussion unintentionally, then in that scenario, there is a realistic probability that someone gets penalized for not having flagged their stream. So what about the penalties themselves? Twitch claims that account suspensions will not be issued for incorrectly labeling a stream. Multiple warnings will be issued before any other action is taken. And finally, repeated failure may result in them locking the label onto your account for a period of time. So how does this affect the community at large? Establishing the idea that these topics are something that need to be flagged as controversial sets a damning precedent. I mean, for sakes, they grouped it in with live streaming protests and civil unrest. Oh, did I not mention that? Yeah. The other ones are discussing military conflicts, foreign policy decisions, national security masters. How are these at all equal? Other companies will be watching. At the end of the video, I'll show you how you can make your voice heard, and if we don't, then other companies may follow in this step backward. Beyond that, all of this enables those that view LGBTQ rights as controversial. There should be no reinforcement for that idea. Not even the slightest of an inkling. Zero. But let's dissect exactly how damaging and ridiculous this is. Twitch is saying your legal protections are too controversial to be spoken about on a normal stream. That may not be their intent, and maybe it sounds disingenuous or like I'm reaching too far to say that, but that's certainly how it feels. Especially when the flag used on an LGBTQ topic is used on mass tragedies like war. Let me rephrase that. I don't think I hit the amount of curse words I can say in a video. Like fucking war. Going on Twitch and seeing trans creators either flagged as being controversial or too afraid to talk about topics that matter is just not it. And most frustrating of all is this reinforces and validates those with malcontent towards the community. All of this brings us to one question. Twitch, are you drunk? Are you doing the drugs? Am I gonna have to call McGruff the crime dog on you? Now, it's important to note that it works the other way as well. If someone wants to talk against transitioning, etc., then they have to flag their stream as well. But they'd have to go out of their way to be a douche nozzle, whereas people like myself are just trans, literally all the time. Never stops. Just wake up, I'm trans. I go to sleep, I'm trans. I'm just doing it all the time. That's what I do. Then again, there was that one time Oreo, the world's largest distributor of disappointment masquerading in cookie form, said trans people exist and Twitter got in a ruffle, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. Good God, out of this entire video, my opinion on Oreos will be the most controversial thing, won't it? This is only a battle of a much larger war, but it's a winnable battle and you can help. It's a battle for our voice and our right to inclusion. There is a link in my description that leads to a forum in which you can make your voice heard directly to Twitch, and they do listen to this forum. To do so, click the link, hit the vote button, log into your Twitch account, and after you've done that, you will have successfully voted. If you don't have a Twitch account, take the 2 minutes to make a Twitch account and help win this battle. In history, the LGBTQ is known to mobilize in moments of need, and that requires every individual. That requires you and me. And we can make a difference, as we have many times before. And since we're on the topic, if you have an upcoming election, make sure you vote and get your friends to vote as well. But start here. It takes 2 minutes to vote on Twitch, 2 seconds if you already have an account. Take the 2 seconds to be part of what makes the difference. Link below.